Hey, you guys, how are you? It's Friday. Friday. My children be like, are you dancing? Like, stop it. Stop it now. But they're not here, so I don't care. I sit in the same spot. Look at my hair. We're not talking about my hair today. I know I sit in the same spot all the time, but I can't figure out where else to sit in my kitchen because the lighting is wrong or because I'm not in a studio. I'm actually in my kitchen. I do not have hair and makeup, people, which is why I have strings hanging. Okay, so here I am. You know, I need to take a picture probably because you know how high tech I am. Not even joking. My laptop, which is how I record this, which is why it's echoey in here. But that's all I got. Is actually sitting, I'm not even lying, on a paint can. Okay, I'm going to send you guys a picture. You'll be like, what? Like, yeah, I am. Yes, I am. I'm also have my little Diet Coke out here because I know I shouldn't be drinking it, and I don't very often, but today I felt like I wanted one. Anyway, how are you? That is how Friday is starting. I loved the shows this week. And if you have not watched them, will you please go back and watch them? Jen Lawrence has been on this week, and she just has this amazing way of being who she is and being awesome and honest and sharing stories, which is what she does. I love her. I've met her a few times. I've not had a chance to hang out with her at any great length, and we need to fix that. But every time I've been with her, I'm like, I just love to be with this person. Like, there's something about her. And every time I read her blogs or every time I hear her speak, she just does something to my heart. She inspires me all the time. And also she has a place in Nova Scotia, and that's where I was born. So obviously she is fantastic. But seriously, everything she had to say this week, just so, I just really needed it. Very much heart and soul food for me. So Jen, thank you for being you, and just don't change because I need it. Very much. And so it was so awesome just to listen to the gals on Monday just talk about stories, right? And the brokenness that we've all been through some brokenness. Let me tell you, I have cried rivers. I know deep pain, and the other gals have walked those kinds of journeys as well. And I loved how they were talking about, but we also get to choose, right? We can sit in that and just wallow in it, or we can choose to move forward because of our pain, because of the stuff we've been through. Not saying that there isn't a time to grieve, not saying that we can't feel, not saying any of that, like, whoa, put it under the doormat and just pull up your bootstraps and move on. No, we all need to feel, but we all do have to also decide when it's time to go, all right, been sitting here, let's move forward. And the only way we can really do that is with Jesus. And the gals have repeated that over and over. I couldn't have done it without God's strength, because that is where our strength is. It is in Him. I would not be here if it wasn't for Jesus and the way that He has helped me walk through so many things. So many things. And I think they use the term even, you can be bitter or you can be better. Haven't we all heard that? So yes, some things are very hard. Life is not always easy and peachy keen. I wish it was, but it's not. And that is where God shines in our lives, especially, right? Is when we just feel like we are weak, and He just proves His strength and His faithfulness over and over. I love that they talked about that. And then on Wednesday, I loved Cheryl's words. This kind of really did something for me also when she said, a life-changing moment for her is when she changed some words and thinking. And let me tell you something about words. They are powerful. Powerful. I have been on the receiving end of destructive words. They are not okay. and they will ruin you, and they can destroy pieces of your heart. Also, the words we speak to other people, not just hurt and harm them, but hurt and harm us as well. And the words we speak to ourselves. Ladies, I think we are so guilty of not speaking kindly. We're so mean to ourselves. I have conversations in my head that are not okay. And I'm like, why do I talk to myself like that? I wouldn't talk to anyone else like that. We call ourselves names. We don't think we're good enough. We just go on. And God is like, whoa, sister. No, I don't speak that way about you. So why are you doing that? Sometimes my daughter, she's 13, and sometimes she'll be like, well, I'm just a loser, or I'm this, or I'm not beautiful, or I'm just dumb, and I stop her in her tracks and go, whoa, lies, all lies, because that's what the enemy wants us to believe, because then he's got a foothold, right, and he can tell us other lies. And I always make her go, no, not true. Tell me 5 things right now that Jesus says about you. I'm loved. I'm beautiful. I'm his princess. I do think all those words are in the Bible somewhere. So she's not quoting actual scripture, but she knows. I'm like, no, you replace those lies with truth from Jesus. The truth about who you are. You are amazing. You're a daughter of the Most High. Hello. He is with us, and he loves us. We are so cherished and treasured. So good. So what Cheryl said, though, I thought was so awesome. She said a life-changing moment for her is when she switched her words from why, like why me, why God, to what. What, God? What would you have me do in this moment? Not why have you put me here? But okay, here I am. Now, what would you have me do here today? What would you have me do in this season of my life? What would you have me do for this person that maybe is not doing okay, or being a certain way, or what instead of the why? And even I'll add woe, right? The woe is me. No, stand up, darling. I just feel Jesus always says that. Stand up, darling. You're mine. Walk in me, darling. You're mine. I got you. Your confidence is because of who he is in us, I just think that's so powerful. And when we grasp that truth about who we are, you know what? We can face the stuff that comes our way. There's going to be stuff, and then there's going to be more stuff. But when we walk it and do it with Jesus, so good. Now, the thing that really got me, though, was when Jen, and she just said it kind of quickly, she mentioned Esther, and that verse that says, in Esther 4:14, like, perhaps you are here for such a time as this. And it stopped me in my tracks because I cannot even tell you how much that line, that phrase has been on my mind for months now. For such a time as this. Like, it just keeps popping up. I've even written it in my day planner. Look, I'm going to show you. It's even right here. For such a time as this. I even have up here, prepare like Esther, arise like Deborah. But for such a time as this. So look at how messy that is. Woo. There's a lot going on. And so I'm like, yes, for such a time as this. And maybe it's because of the season I'm in. The season of kind of like, okay, everything's great. My whole world has changed. I'm in a different country. And I'm married again and blended family. And I love it. I love it with my whole entire heart. I love living here. I love where I'm at. But at the same time, the girl beside me is going, so what is my purpose again? Because I don't sing anymore. I'm not, near my family. I'm not near all my friends. I'm not doing all the things that defined me, I thought, right? For years and years and years. Suddenly I'm like, whoa, okay, here I am. That's my season I'm in. But this line and this verse keep coming back. But you're here for such a time as this. All the things that you're walking through, all the things you've walked through, for such a time as this, you are where you are for such a time as this. It's not by accident. It's not, God is like not, oh, did I make a mistake there? Oops, you were meant for this time and season over here. No, he's like, for such a time as this. And I was reading something. I'm going to just read it to you guys here. Let's read the verse, Esther 4:14, where it says, for if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews, this is about Esther, Mordecai talking to Esther, for the Jews will arise from another place. Someone else will do it then, but you and your father's family will perish if you don't stand up now, dear Esther. And who knows but that you have come to royal position for such a time as this. Those are actually powerful words. And when we hear that, like, what if this verse was written about you? Because it is. You're here for such a time as this. So what will our story be? Like, if we apply that to every day and in every stage of our life, remember, I have come to this place for such a time as this, then what does it do? How do we treat our coworkers differently? How do we treat our family differently? How do we love differently? You are here for such a time as this. It's your time, dear Esther. And if you choose to be silent and not do anything, fine. God will choose someone else, but your family will perish and the Jews will perish. This is her story. You're here for such a time as this. You are here for such a time as this, to love your family, to be kind to those coworkers, to fold the socks maybe, to take care of maybe an ailing parent, or encourage a husband who's hurting inside. And I know that we have all that stuff too inside and stuff that we're going through, but darling, rise up. You're here for such a time as this. And you know what? It's over here. I love all the versions, right? But even the Message has those exact same words in Esther 4:14. Who knows? Maybe you were made queen for such a time as this. You may be sitting there with me right now going, honey darling, no. I'm just getting up, doing my thing, feeding the family, going to work. I am not making an impact on the world. This week we lost a very dear man on Monday, Reverend David Maines. And he is very precious to my family, has been for 40 years. He, if you don't know, was the founder of 100 Huntley Street and just an amazing hero of the faith and a hero in Canada. I got to tell you, for Christian television and for just sharing the gospel. And yes, he had a platform and he used television because he just wants everybody to know that Jesus loves them. And fun fact, in the middle of all this, you do not know this probably, but in 1978, 77, I don't know, my family was on 100 Huntley Street. I was 4, my sisters were 2, my sisters are twins, and just to share their miracle story, because my mom actually can't have babies, and here we all are, and my sisters, the doctors told my parents they're going to die, just make funeral arrangements, and they're alive and well. So we were on Huntley Street. It was so funny. I was perfect. I sat there and did nothing, but my sisters were, they were not perfect, and my mom was glaring at them. They got in trouble. Anyway, the Maines family, David Maines, Norma Jean Maines, been a part of my life for a long time. So here's this great man and doing great things for Jesus. Awesome man. I have cried out of the blue all this week, just thinking about the legacy he left and what it must have been like the moment. I'm going to cry right now. David Maines actually just saw Jesus face to face, for the first time. And Jesus said, welcome home. Your purpose here is done on earth. Welcome home. How amazing, And then I have a father like that. I have a Pentecostal preacher man. And he also, if you know 100 Huntley Street, was on that program for 12 years. And just telling people about Jesus, because that is what it's all about. Just loving Jesus and loving people and telling people that Jesus loves them. And so you might go, yeah, great. But they got that platform. They got this. And then, there's Melinda and all you see her love gals. And, you're doing this. Yep. And amazingly so, that's like a miracle because we're all such normal people. But let me tell you about some of the greatest people I know. One is my Nana. Her name is Marion McLaren. You may never hear her name, probably never, because she's 95 years old. And she lives in a home in Prince Edward Island with her cousin Grace. And they are a hoot. They are spunky and a hoot. But let me tell you about her, because she's one of my heroes, is that she never ever got her driver's license, has never driven a car. Her husband died when she was 40. She never remarried, never dated, but the woman can bake some awesome cookies and bread. But she is my hero because she has loved Jesus with her whole entire heart. And she has prayed in her family. She prayed in my father and my uncle and my aunts, and she prays for all of us. For such a time as this, Marion McLaren, to pray for your family and to be there and be that rock and to just live out Jesus where you are planted. And then I have a mom who would love to never have any limelight, never be known, and she's lived with my father. She's been the great balance for him. And yet I have this mama who's 5 foot tall, but just loves Jesus and prays for her family and has folded our socks and has sewed our clothes and helped us with homework and has fed us and fed us and fed us and prayed for us and prayed for us and prayed for us and still prays for us. And then every once in a while, just great tidbits of wisdom, like, now, Kimberly, dear, I was thinking, she's my hero. You may never know her name, Ruth McLaren. You may never meet her. If you do, it will be an honor because she's so precious. So you may not be on a TV show, and that is okay. But you are where you are for such a time as this. How does that verse change your story? What does that do? It's no accident. I just love it so much. And those are the words we're gonna just take away and just chew on for a little bit for such a time as this. If that is on our mind and in our hearts, in everything we're doing, your purpose is great. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it means walking over to the person at work and actually shining Jesus through a smile, or just because you're different in the way you care or the way you speak, or I don't know, but you know the things that God has put on your heart for such a time as this. Shine on, ladies. It's our time. We are here to rise up in our homes, the greatest mission field that we have, and then take that outside our homes and just continue to shine Jesus for such a time as this. I love you all so much. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. And don't forget, you are so loved and so cherished. And I just love doing life with you. Okay, so those words, again, we're just going to say it over and over for such